Hey everybody, Judy Seeger here, back with another webinar training. This time we're going to talk about diet detox tips for weight loss, what really works to get rid of ugly belly fat. A lot of you have been asking me about weight loss issues and we're going to get into it, but first of all I want to welcome you to this new format. We're going to try this out a little bit more convenient for you and easy hopefully to get on. We'll see how it goes. At any rate, I'm so happy to have you, my subscribers, my followers, the people who you're really interested in taking care of yourself, your health, knowing what it takes to live a long life without worry about disease. And fat is not necessarily a disease, but it can lead to disease. And that's very important to understand. So we're going to cover a lot of different things tonight. So get ready. And as always, at the end, I have a special announcement, something that I'm offering that is a special that's coming up. Love to have you stay on that and find out what that's all about. So in the meantime, let's get into our training for tonight. Studies show that most of us have between 400 to 800 chemical residues stored in our body. Where are they stored? In our fat cells. So of course, no wonder diet plans don't work, because you're concerned about just getting rid of the fat. But looking at it from my perspective, you know, I've been in this for alternative medicine for 35 years, and I have seen many, many diseases come through my clinic, and I still work with people internationally all around with different issues. And when they tell me, hey, I just want to get rid of the fat, I want to get rid of the weight that has come on over the years, I'm like, well, you have to understand that it's really chemicals being stored in that fat, and when you get rid of that, you will get rid of it, but you're also going to feel like $1,000,000, and that's really what I want for you guys. So let's get rid of the belly fat and understand the really big picture about what is belly fat. So first of all, we're going to talk about the 8 tips for controlling sugar cravings, because sugar and all the issues that come with sugar put on weight. We all know that, but then how do you grab a hold of the sugar craving monster, right? Then we're also going to talk about best diet detox menu plan. We're also going to talk about how to get rid of the belly fat. The best diet detox plan really is liver cleansing. I mean, you guys know I'm all about detox and cleansing, and there's a reason, because it works, because it gives you the ability to rebuild your body so that you don't have the weight issue or any disease issue. That's the whole big picture here. And so the next best thing we're also going to talk about tonight and train you is the colon cleansing. So, you know, I go over this and over this and over this because you need to hear and understand it. And I always come at it from a little bit different angle, so that it gives you a different perspective and a better understanding. Oh, it's all about empowerment, my friends. I want to empower you. And this is all part of the training. And then the last part, we're going to talk about the top herbs and supplements for weight loss. So I always include that in resources for you guys to make sure that you have the understanding of what can you take that would help, and what are the foods, what are the therapies. So we'll get into all that. All right, so let's get into it. First of all, diet actually means habitual nourishment. Habitual nourishment. So nourishment, okay, let's think about this a minute. Nourishment is a sense of being cared for, right? It promotes life and health. You know, you think about children and how we nourish them, okay? And that's really what we're looking at here. It gets you focused on the food as being a part of a support that will help your well-being. Okay, so that change in your mind, that it's a habitual nourishment, gives you a little bit of softer tone. It's not like, oh, diet, and then you have all the issues that come up with diet, right? The focus is using the food as tool or a method to get your body stronger, and of course you will lose weight. But the word diet is so restrictive, and eating only certain foods, whether it's low fat, low carb, drinking more veggie juice can cause more harm than good in the long run. So let's change our hat around on this and add more foods that could give your body the tools it needs to lose weight in a healthy way, plus eliminate the big culprit, which is sugar craving. So that's really what we want to get into. Step 1 is the sugar craving solutions. What in the world are you going to do? Well, let's get to the root. Emotional eating is truly a big issue. Okay, so what causes you to start eating, especially sweets? And I really relate to this because I love dark chocolate, always have. Give me a chocolate chip cookie or a dark chocolate bar or anything with dark chocolate. But I noticed that as I was growing up, it was always because I was craving something else. And as an adult and becoming a naturopath and then having my clinic, I saw, oh man, I'm having some other issues here that is causing me to reach for that quick sugar fix. So stress factors that will cause the sugar craving to be worse is going to bed late. So many people go to bed 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, and that really causes irregularity in your circadian rhythm. So you need to understand that going to bed that late is really not a good thing. And so many people say, well, I'm a night owl and I need to do all these different things and I can't sleep if I go lay in bed. Well, I understand that. There are people who definitely go to bed later than that and than others, and that's okay if you're not having any cravings, any issues with your weight, any disease issues, any chronic pain, right? So pay attention to that. And how would you change that? It's just a matter of going to normal and just work on that. Other stress factors would be eating irregular meals. So many people are on this quick grab and go kind of schedule, which is horrible for your program, for your health overall. Eating 3 meals a day at the same time every day. It's that simple, people. It really does make that much a difference, because again, if you don't, your body never knows and never is in that mode of digestion. And so if you're eating irregular meals, your body is like, wow, I'm not sure when the food is going to come. And then when it comes, it's like, okay, I got to digest this food real quick. And your body likes habit. So good habits makes a strong body, which means that your weight will stabilize and be where it should be. So it really makes that much difference. So again, a lot of people go to bed late and they get up in the morning and don't like to have breakfast. I get that. We're going to talk about some things that you can do for that. And the reason I emphasize that, because I have a daughter, I have 3 children, and my my youngest is like that, and my middle and my oldest children tend to go to bed a little earlier and get up. But she really has struggled with going to bed late and eating irregular meals. But she's learned, she's now 28, she's learned to be more consistent. And as she is more consistent, she is really reaping the benefits from that. So it's been good. Okay, lack of exercise, of course, that is a type of stress factor, because exercise gets rid of the issues that we're going through day to day and helps to get, so I'm not talking about exercise just for the form of movement, but to release some of the issues that we are going through emotionally day to day. So just walking is great, because that's a time where you could just let go of some of those stresses in your life. And then not enough R&R time. So rest and relaxation time is very, very important. And when you're not having enough of that, your body then is in a stress mode, and then it causes a lot of other problems in an imbalance, right? Okay, so caused by, all right, so what causes these emotional stress factors? Well, work and financial worries, having a new move, a new job, death in the family, trauma, like a car accident, some kind of injury. Those are the big ones. There's a long list, but those are the big ones, right? And then the biggest factors really, though, are the emotional ones, right? So those other ones are the physical things that happen, or just life circumstances. Things happen. It's when they build up, and then you just can't take it anymore, and you keep reaching for that sugar. So the biggest factors, though, really, is if you have an unhappy relationship. Now, when I had my clinic and I had people come in to my clinic, and they were frustrated because they didn't have a happy marriage, and they had family, children that were causing problems in the family, or they had just, everybody has family issues or relationship issues with their marriage. It just is. I mean, that's human nature, right? Well, when it gets to, again, where you're really, really unhappy and not taking care of yourself, it will cause imbalance in your body, and that's when you start using food as an emotional release, because you're not really going to the deep root of what's happening. So that's a big factor. Another one is where you're really, really dissatisfied with your work. You're spending, 8 hours a day at least working at your job, and you're just not happy. You do it because you have to pay bills, but when you're really, really dissatisfied, it causes an imbalance. And there's lots of different things you could do to change that. I'm just saying these are the factors that you need to be aware of. So, I'm going to give you practical tools and strategies and tips tonight of what you can do, but you have to be aware that these need to be addressed as well. So the other one that's a huge factor is unresolved emotional issues. So let's say you got somebody that you in a relationship with and they made you angry. That's typical, right? But when you hold on to that anger and then you notice it comes out in other aspects of your life on people who don't deserve it, or just in strange situations. You're at the grocery store and you're getting mad because you're on the checkout line too long because the guy's taking too long to check out. Well, that's normal, right? It's normal. But yet you get really, really angry. Okay, that means not that you're angry because of that particular situation, but other things that have not been resolved in your life. Same goes for bitterness, grief, shame, fear, the list goes on. When there's unresolved emotional issues, I encourage you, my friends, highly encourage you, go find somebody to coach you through it, whether it's a therapist, whether it's a life coach, whether it's somebody at church, a minister, pastor, elder, somebody you respect. I've done it all. I went through all this, and you'll hear more about my story in a bit, but I went looking for the help because I didn't like feeling angry and bitter. Those were my big issues. And then I had fear as well. I probably had all these. Now that I look at the list, I had them all. Anger, bitterness, grief, shame, fear, and then some. And I was in my early 30s. So it definitely is something that you need to look at and understand that if you don't resolve it, you're going to spend a lot of time and a lot of money on food and supplements. But if you deal with the root issues, guess what? It gets resolved. Here are the biggest symptoms, what happens when you don't resolve it. Weight gain, which is what this training is all about, right? Lots and lots of weight gain comes on, you get aches and pains, diarrhea and constipation, dizziness, chest pain, rapid heartbeat. You're worried about something and the anxiety starts building up and you got that rapid heartbeat going on. Loss of sex drive really affects relationships. That becomes a big mess. Frequent colds, your immune system goes down. Memory problems, short-term, long-term, starts to come in. We did a training about dementia and Alzheimer's about that. And then you start eating more. And then the other things come in, the anxiety, depression, moodiness, irritability, feeling of overwhelmed, or feeling lonely. Okay, and then all these things are combined and cause problems in your body where you're craving the sugar. So it just becomes like a roller coaster. So what in the world do you do? All right, and we're going to talk about the weight. And I understand we want to talk about that, but I want to make sure that you understand also it's not just about the weight, it's your overall health. Okay, we don't want all those other symptoms that we just talked about. So my 3-step formula, which I teach, I will teach this from now till forever, is to rebuild your body's immune system. You want to release the toxins and you want to rebalance your body. Okay, that's emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Okay, that's really what it comes down to. So we're going to rebuild by talking about the foods, the right foods, and how to get it into you and what you could do. And then we're going to talk about releasing the toxins a little bit, and then what can you do to rebalance. So just as an overview, because I teach this all the time, but understand that take these 3 words, rebuild, release, rebalance, put them up on your fridge, put them on your mirror, and you say, okay, every single day, what do I need to do to rebuild my body? Because when you rebuild and your system gets stronger, especially immune system, again, the fat goes. It just says, hey, I don't need to stay around. The fat is there to protect you. It is there as a survival mechanism, and yet it also stores toxins. So when you rebuild your body and your immune system gets so strong, then the toxins are released, the fat goes, you feel better. That's how it works. That's basic A&P, basic anatomy and physiology. Then releasing the toxins, when you do that, and we're going to talk about different ways that can be done. Again, what happens is when the toxins are released, the fat just doesn't have a reason to stay. All right. I mean, I really don't focus on I really don't focus on weight issues. Weight loss has never been my primary target when I teach, either whether it's my clinic or in webinars, whatever. This is like a very rare training, but you understand it's because I know that I know that I know from all the years of experience and working with thousands of people that when you know how to release the toxins, the weight comes off. And I'll show you what we could do about that. And then rebalancing your emotions, as we talked about, right? All right. So let's talk about specifically the tips and tactics for breaking your sugar habit. What are you going to do? We got 8 of them that I'm going to share with you. So first off, you're going to eat low sugar foods all day long. Okay, so that's like a no-brainer. Well, what is low sugar foods? Okay, it means, you know, the fruits are an issue. So many times, picking on my mom who's 81, she loves to have her apples and she loves to have bananas and grapes, and I'm like, Mom, I think, and she's struggling with weight. Like she's 5'2", 142 pounds. Not really bad. But she's worried. She's always been like 130, 135, and she's starting to get that belly fat. And she keeps calling me every week, literally, what else can I do? Give me something else I could do. So I did, and I have helped her through that. And so she says, oh, I lost 2 pounds. I feel better already. I'm like, okay, great. So keep going, Mom. But the biggest thing is that fruit, right? So she was eating, instead of grabbing a cookie, she thought she was doing really good by eating a bunch of grapes. Well, grapes are very, very high in sugar. And then I told her that. And she said, well, what about banana? Because it's high in potassium. I'm like, yes, but again, it's high sugar fruit. So the best thing to do is the green smoothies. And this is what I told my mom as well, is get little almond milk. And she did. She changed it over, and she's like, you know, I like this almond milk. It doesn't taste that bad. The vanilla flavor is great. I was like, great. I'm happy, Mom. I'm so glad that you're doing this. And so then she would do that, and then she would get some green powder. And you know, so many people ask me which one, and we're going to relaunch a green powder at the end of this month, and I will share that with you. But for now, just get whatever green powder that you have in the health food store that looks good, that has a lot of spirulina in it. And then just mix it up in the almond milk in a blender, and that's it. That's simple. And drink it at least 2 to 3 times a day. Now, the reason you drink it throughout the day, because your blood sugar will take roller coaster dips, and when that roller coaster goes down, okay, imagine the roller coaster going down, that is when your blood sugar goes down and you're craving something, and you start maybe feeling a little bit lightheaded. Maybe you get a little bit irritable. Maybe you get a little moody. Maybe you get a headache. Okay, and you know you should reach for something. You should like have a real meal, but you don't have time because you're working, you're running to pick up the kids, you got to go get your mother, you got to go take care of your husband, your wife, you know, whatever the reason, you just don't have the time. So that's when it's important to go ahead and have a green smoothie and have it in a jar, put it in your thermos, shake it up, and drink that down. It's a huge help. The number two tip is to make sure that you hydrate yourself, right? So when you are going through your breaking your sugar habit, you want to make sure that you're getting enough liquid. And you know, people are always like, yeah, I drink a lot of water. Well, make sure that your urine is not dark yellow and that your urine is a light or pale yellow. Okay, so that's very important. You know, and you could do X amount of water. I know there's different formulas out there, but I've just found watch the color of your urine, and then you know that you're really getting hydrated enough. Now, the number 3 tip is using stevia. Stevia is when you want something sweet. Stevia is a plant with sweet leaves, and they actually now use the root as well. It's very low carbohydrate, low glycemic sugar, that doesn't cause any problems in case you have maybe candida issues, or maybe you have fungus issues. Stevia definitely doesn't add to that. You could add, it's very sweet. It's one drop of stevia, liquid stevia, is equal to 600 teaspoons of sugar. Wow, that's like a lot, right? So it's a 1 to 600 ratio. So it's got a very unique flavor. So when you think, oh, I'm going to have something different than sugar, and I'm going to have something that is good for me, and then you taste it, it's like, oh, I don't know if I could do this. Yeah, because it is. It's a very different flavor, and I understand that. But if you mix it, now here's a simple sweet drink recipe, is you add a drop or two of stevia. You could get liquid or you could get it powder, and then you add it to water, and then you add 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. This is what I put my mom on because she didn't like just the straight apple cider vinegar. So, and then the apple cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon to water, and you drink that down. Bam! You just like, wow, that's like something different, something good, and you feel good, and the apple cider vinegar is helping as well. All right, so more solutions: eat sour and fermented foods. This is really the trick of the trade. When you crave sugar, you hit it with the opposite. You eat sour and fermented food like sauerkraut, like kimchi, foods that give you a blast of probiotics and nutrients will cut that sugar craving. Now, when you are going to the health food store, make sure you look for unpasteurized sauerkraut, or make sure that you don't have anything that is conventional, right? So very easy to do. And of course, lemons are simple. I teach that all the time. You take a fresh lemon, you put it in your quart of water, and you drink that down all throughout the day. Sour fermented foods throughout the day will help. Tip number 4 is take probiotics. So when your gut bacteria is out of balance, okay, because of the chemicals, because of poor food choices, because of stress, we crave sugar. And probiotics, of course, helps to replenish your intestinal flora and restore the balance in your gut system. So they help tip the scale back towards good bacteria and away from the bad, like the fungus and yeast. So take about 2 capsules, 2 in the morning on an empty stomach, 2 in the evening on an empty stomach, and that's where I would encourage you to start, because that will start getting the healthy bacteria in. Now, which kind and how much? Again, the variety is the important. I don't promote any one particular brand, but get a probiotic that has a variety in there. That will make a huge difference. And then tip number 5 is eat more fiber. Okay, so fruit, yes, but high fiber fruit, right? So that would be like a sour apple would be great. Berries are fantastic. So your raspberries, blackberries, blueberries, strawberries are great. That's about it. Not too much on the other fruits unless it has high fiber. Maybe some papaya or mango is good. But not too heavy, just the ones that are high in fiber. And then psyllium. Psyllium is an herb that has been around forever, and you could take a teaspoon of that, mix it in water, and what fiber does is slows those when you go on a roller coaster, we're back on the roller coaster, and your blood sugar goes down and then it comes up, right? So when it comes up because you just ate, or because you had too much fruit or whatever you had, you take psyllium, and that slows it down and stabilizes your blood sugar so you don't have cravings later, right? So you're having sugar, doesn't matter what kind, and you're going to go down, you're going to come up, but the psyllium, the fiber, will help to actually stabilize it. We'll talk more about some other things you can do to stabilize it. So some more solutions. Tip number 6 is eat quinoa. I don't really recommend eating, well, I never recommend eating pasta. Pasta is like a big no-no because it's very hard to get into your system, break it down without causing a blood sugar spike. So pasta is no, and brown rice and all that, they're okay and they're better. But out of all the grains out there, I highly recommend quinoa. Quinoa it's easy to use. It's got a nice flavor to it. You could cook it up in 20 minutes and you could add it to your vegetables and all that stuff, and it's great. So quinoa is the best grain for helping to crave your sugar cravings. And then tip number 7 is eating raw nuts. Now, raw nuts, you have to be, of course, be aware that just a handful is all you need. So almonds, Brazil nuts, walnuts, pecans, just a little bit is fine. You don't want to go with, I had a client one time who she, again, was trying to lose weight, and she was working out, but she wasn't losing it, and she was getting frustrated, and she had that belly fat. And so we went through her diet again. She admitted that she had been having, because she knew raw nuts were good, well, she was having like almost a pound a day. She was having a tremendous amount. And so we had to cut that back to just a handful, and that was fine. Tip number 8 is add smoothie boost. So remember I was telling you about having the green powder and with the almond milk, well, you could also add a teaspoon of chia seeds. Those are great. Maybe coconut oil. It's a natural fat that will help to satisfy you, and just 1 tablespoon is all you need. Or, well, we mentioned the green powder with spirulina. And then ground flaxseed. Having ground flaxseed that is fresh, it's got the fiber in there, it's got the omega-3, 6, and 9s, is fantastic. Or apple pectin, 1 tablespoon of apple pectin. That's the one, that's my go-to. I like apple pectin. I like the fiber. I like the taste. It gives it a nice flavor to my smoothie. And it just all helps to eliminate that sugar craving. So any one of those, not all of them, but just, if you're going to do a boost, go ahead and just add 1 and we'll go from there. Step number 2 is your detox menu plan overview. So I have talked a lot about detox menu plans, and we're going to just do an overview of what you need to do to help you lose that belly fat, feel good, and make sure that you're on the right track. So first things first is add. I love to add food and not take away. So adding food is very important. Your veggies, your fruits, your proteins are all great. So let's break it down and get into it. So breakfast is where you got some choices. So these are the choices that I recommend. You could have some fresh berries, your raspberries, your blueberries, your blackberries, your strawberries, right? All those can be done. That's normally what I have. I have that in a green smoothie. That is my go-to. And yes, I do have weight issues if I'm not careful. I had emailed you guys to let you know a little bit that I had at one point been a size 14 pant size when I was working my clinic, and I was in my 30s, and I've always been an athlete. I've always been very, very thin, and the weight was in my belly, and it was so frustrating. So I was really like looking and trying to figure out what the issue was. It was a gut issue, it was a gallstone issue, and sure enough, yeah, I was stressed out. I was working 70, 80 hours a week at the clinic, trying to save the world, or at least my part of the world, and ended up having that weight on my stomach mostly, and it was frustrating. So the stress was an issue, so I had to learn to deal with the stress, which I did. And then I dealt with emotions issues. I had a very horrible divorce, so I went to get some counseling. I did therapy. I read books. I went to support groups. I did whatever it took to get rid of that, which I did. And then also I made some changes, right? I made some diet and lifestyle changes. And then I went through menopause pretty early, actually. I went through menopause in my 40s. I believe it was the trauma of everything I had been going through in the last few years. So I had early menopause in my 40s and said, okay, now I look at food and I gain weight. I look at food and I gain weight. And I'm like, this is insane. Like, I've never had a weight issue in my whole life. And so I had friends who were my associates, and I said, all right, this was back before the hormone issue was really as prevalent. This was quite a while ago. And so I sat down with them and came up with a game plan. And the game plan is to make sure that just exactly what I'm teaching you, I practice and it works. And so now my weight is stabilized. I'm 5'7", 130 pounds. And not skinny winny, but certainly no weight issues either. My stomach is flat, feels great. Not 100% flat, but I feel good. And so this works. It works for me, and it works for everybody else that I teach. So it all makes sense, right? You don't want to go crazy diet stuff. You want a program that's going to get you where you need to go and not have to worry about all the craziness of diets. That doesn't work. I never did diets myself. I just knew that the emotions and the changes and the trauma that I've been through were causing the issue. So I hope you're getting that message loud and clear. That's the message I want for you guys. All right, so berries, we said, and having a green smoothie. That would be almond milk and a tablespoon or a scoop of the green smoothie, and then a bowl full of berries. That's first up. And then the next breakfast that I have a couple times a week and I put my people on are eggs, and then having a fresh pineapple is great. You could also have it with fresh berries. You can have it with Ezekiel toast, but again, when you look at food and you gain weight, you're like, okay, carbs have to be smart carbs, and carbs that are not going to put on weight and cause problems, right? And so belly fat is usually an issue, that carbs are an issue that has to be dealt with on some level. So that's why I say do eggs and pineapple, which is a type of carbohydrate actually, but it's not a heavy carb like having a whole grain piece of toast even, okay? So that would be a great combo. Green apples and nut butter, that's a very nice satisfying one, especially when it cools down and it starts getting cold outside and you want something a little bit more warming. The natural fats in the nut butter are good. So almond butter, I don't recommend peanut butter because all the issues with peanut butter, but almond butter is great, cashew butter is great, tahini, you know, all those are great, and you could go ahead and do that. All right, lunch would be steamed veggies and fish, chicken, and quinoa is a nice lunch. It's easy to do, takes just a few minutes to put together. So any kind of steamed veggies, any kind, broccoli, asparagus, any of your greens, your collard greens, your Swiss chard, that kind of stuff. And then having wild caught fish, and then having organic, that's a nice meal for lunch. And then veggie soup and sweet potatoes. Again, you know, you could just, veggie soups are easy to make ahead of time. You put it in a jar, you eat it, and bam, there you are. And then if you need the carbs, I'm a high carb person. I love bread. I'm Eastern European woman. I love my bread, but I can't eat it because I put on weight when I eat it, right? So I'm looking for alternatives all the time. And this whole gluten-free thing is not helpful because that's a lot of rice and it's a lot of potato flour, which puts on weight. So sweet potatoes are pretty good because it has fiber in there. But even like having a veggie soup and maybe adding little beans to it, in the summer, you know, I was just thinking about it as I'm looking at this. In the summer, what I do is I'll take like a half a can of beans and I'll add whatever vegetables are popular. So in the summertime, what I'll do is I'll add anything from radishes, tomatoes, cucumbers, to maybe little bits of asparagus, chop up a little broccoli, whatever's around, and I just happen to feel like having. And then I put a little bit of olive oil, and because I love olive oil, you could do coconut as well, with a little balsamic vinegar. Oh my goodness, that's yum. That's really good. And it's satisfying, and that's what you want. You want to be satisfied, so it's going to last you into your next meal. Another one is having squash, pumpkins, sweet potatoes, and steamed veggies. So again, depending on what time of year you're listening to this, in the summertime, squash and pumpkin are not as common, but then you could add zucchini. So zucchini and steamed vegetables as a base is great. Dinner is ditto. So here's the deal. A lot of people at lunchtime want to have a salad. When you are looking to lose weight, you want things that are nourishing and nurturing. And you want to eat food that feels good and is not hard to digest. So having salad is very hard to digest and very hard to break down, and I don't really recommend it. I actually recommend more the steamed veggies of some kind on a bed of quinoa or sweet potato or in soup, something like that. It is you lose weight just eating that way. I'm just saying, it really works. Doing the whole salad thing, I don't know what happened to our culture that everything's surrounded by salad, but it's much harder to break down and harder on your system. So if you're going to do salad, though, caveat, in other words, here's a side note. If at lunchtime you feel like, well, that's all I have and I'm just going to make it and I'm just going to have it because it's quick, then go ahead and have it at lunchtime. But then dinner time, have your steamed veggies with your quinoa or your soup or something like that. Because at the end of the day, you're tired. You've worked all day. You've been running around. So it's time to take care of yourself. And one way to do that is having food that's easy to digest and makes you feel good and helps you with your weight, right? So if you're going to do it, that's the order of events. Okay, so let's get into the actual cleansing, right? So this is where we're talking about the pre-cleanse. So pre-cleanse is where you're going to add, so before your actual cleansing, you know, we're talking about what can you do to get your weight under control, and that is going to be through doing a whole cleansing program. So giving you an overview is that you do the pre-cleanse first, and you're going to take 1 to 7 days to do that, depending on how much time you have, but for sure at least 1 day. And you're going to add more soups. You're going to add veggie juices. You're going to add some greens, mustard greens, arugula, Swiss chard, broccoli, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower. All those vegetables are great. So that's it. That's all you have to do. You're going to avoid your dairy foods. So no cheese, no yogurt, no milk. You can have eggs. That's okay. It's not technically dairy, but you want to make sure that you have you've gotten rid of the dairy, and you're just eating light. Okay, that's really what a pre-cleanse is all about. And then also during your pre-cleanse, you make appointments. So getting some, if you want to have somebody do colonics on you, colon hydrotherapy, chiropractor. But here's the one that has become very popular. I just did this the other day. Again, I do it about twice a month. Is getting a foot massage. I don't know where you are in the world, but I first got introduced to this when I was in Thailand. Like everybody gets foot massages, like all the locals. Now there it was very cheap. It was like $3 or $2 for a foot massage, and you get it for 15 minutes or to 30 minutes, and they just did a great job. Here it's a little bit more expensive, but not that much. I mean, I did a special coupon for $20. It was great, and it was a full hour. And they massage not only your feet, they actually do reflexology, but the arms, they do shoulders and back. Just a very nice, light circulatory kind of massage, and it feels fantastic. So I'd encourage you to do that during your pre-cleanse. Go explore, go find out if they're doing foot massages in your neck of the woods, right? Then this is also the time you buy your herbs for cleanses, you get your supplies, you just kind of get in that frame where you're ready to release the toxins that are putting on the weight. That's really what this is all about, getting yourself organized and getting yourself ready. And then it's a 3-day diet detox. Now, again, this is a program where it's very simple to do. It's very easy with the system that I came up with. It's really strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, blueberries, or having green smoothies, veggie juices, herbal teas, miso soup. I'll tell you more details about it at the end of the webinar, but I just want you to understand the 3-day diet detox. I have used it for people for all different kinds of situations, and then I was thinking, this is like a great one for, we are like right now in the middle of the summer here in the States, and people are still like not feeling comfortable with their weight. So I'm like, you know what? Let me tell you guys, this actually helps to lose weight very quickly, very safely, very effectively, because it's not hard to do. You eat berries. I mean, if you need to have a little vegetables and stuff, that's fine, but it's simple. That's all you do. For 3 days, you're going to eat some berries and have your green smoothies and the rest. And you're feeling pretty good because there's just not a lot that you need to do, but yet you're still getting some nourishment, some nutrients in. And that's it. And then after your cleanse, you're going to eat light. You're going to have some easily digested foods like steamed veggies, your veggie soup, your broths, wild-caught fish, organic chicken. And you do that for a good 3 to 7 days. That's it. And that's really the whole cleanse. But let's get into a little bit about the flat belly cleanse. This is what we're calling it. That's where we focus on the colon cleanse and the liver cleanse. All right. So let's look at this a little bit more closely. The colon cleanse is really important when you are having belly fat issues. Very, very important that you cleanse your colon. I was a colon hydrotherapist for 5 years in my clinic, and there were so many people who had weight issues. I mean, Wisconsin, my goodness, it was cheesehead country. Everybody ate cheese and hamburgers and brats and horrible, horrible diets, right? And then you had winter where you didn't get out much and you weren't active, right? So I'm not picking on the Midwest. I loved it. I stayed there for 20 years, had 3 kids. It was great. But the Midwest has a lot of issues. And then I travel around and say, oh, it's not just the Midwest. It's all over the world. Everybody seems to be having problems with colon issues. So here's the deal, is when you cleanse your colon, you're actually releasing toxins, because if you're eating food, and we all do, if you're eating food that is not good for you, fast food or something that is not good, it stays in your body and it stores in the after effects, the residual stores in your fat, but the residual stays in your colon, and you got 6 feet of colon. So when that colon starts getting too full, it starts pushing out on your belly. So think about it. If you take your hand right now and put it so that the palm of your hand is over your belly button, over your navel. Okay, that area, that if you then go side to side, that area, if you have belly there and it's a fat belly and it's not comfortable sitting there, it means your transverse colon is full up. Okay, I'm not going to say the word. You know what I'm talking about. It's full up with stuff that doesn't belong in there. Okay, and so that is what needs to be released, and that's not easy. Okay, and if you don't do a colon cleanse, right? If you're not having regular bowel movements, and even if you are having regular bowel movements, I know Dr. Oz really put this on the map, and I'm very grateful to him that he was teaching people. He says, having a bowel movement every day is one thing, but having where you're really getting rid of your fecal matter that doesn't belong in there all throughout your colon, now that's another story. So he was really teaching in that, and it's true. When you put your hand on your belly and it's tight in there, and especially the guys with their beer bellies, and especially that belly fat that's right there, it's really, really hard to get out. And so I made it easy by showing you that, hey, there's some herbs that you could use. There's therapies. You've got to do coffee enemas and or colonics. Colon hydrotherapy is most effective, but you've got to do that. If you don't do that, you're going to spend a ton of money on diets, and you're going to waste time. You're going to be frustrated, and you're not going to lose the weight, and you're going to be like, I don't understand why I'm not losing the weight. Because here's the deal. Once the colon is cleaned out, the other cool part is that your food gets to digest better because it's moving through your colon. It doesn't get impacted. You don't have to worry about constipation or diarrhea, none of that. And you feel a whole lot better as you're cleaning out the whole colon. So that's the cool part. The next one for a flat belly is your liver cleanse. Got to do liver cleanse. So first the colon, then the liver. You get the liver flush cocktail going, and most people know that it's olive oil and lemon juice, but it's very harsh, when you do it that way. That's how I was taught 35 years ago. So I came up with a much milder cocktail, much easier to do. And when you do that, that is amazing how your liver flushes out. Because I used to have gallstones as well. And so when the liver gets to clean out and the gallstones get to start flushing out, it's like, wow, my liver's not so inflamed and the colon is cleaned out. And you start looking in the mirror and it's like, hey, that belly is going down. So I encourage you guys, you do the colon cleanse, liver cleanse, and you measure your belly, because that's what I used to do to see like, what is going on? Why do I keep having this belly fat? And when I started doing the colon cleanse and liver cleanse years ago, that's where I got results. And that's what I'm encouraging you to understand. Liver cleanse, herbal teas are great as well. You could drink those every day and we'll get results to get that belly down. Now let's talk about the supplements. The supplements are many that you could have. I have 10 here for you, so let's get into that. So the first one, it's not around so much anymore, but it still works really well. Gemema sylvestre, which is why I like it, because it's an anti-diabetic for insulin issues. And so lots and lots of times when there's belly fat, there also comes a problem called diabetes or pre-diabetic conditions, right? So this here supplement is great to get that balanced out. Also, if you have other issues like, the arthritis, you got the cravings, you're having problems with your sugar spikes up and down. So what it really is, it's an herb. And it acts like a natural appetite suppressor because it has something called say that 3 times real fast, gymnemic acid, especially in the leaves. So you take it, here's how you take it. You take it 1 hour before meals to reduce your sugar cravings and help your digestion. And it comes in capsule form, so you can drink it as a tea before meals, as you can with all herbs, but it's just easier to take it as a capsule. And what's cool about it is it works. It helps to stabilize your blood sugar. The sugar cravings go, and when the sugar cravings go and your blood sugar stabilizes, then guess what? Weight goes down. All right, number 2 is licorice. Licorice, not the candy I'm talking about. I'm talking about licorice, the herbal plant. It's very, very good for hypoglycemia. So that's low that's high blood sugar. So hypo is high. So if your blood sugar is spiking all the time, then for sure licorice is great. It'll bring it down. It stimulates your adrenal glands and supports your endocrine system. And again, it helps sugar cravings. See, we keep coming back to that. You could drink it as a tea. It's really actually pretty strong. So you might not like it as that, but you could also take it as a supplement. So either way. Stevia, we touched on that already, is an herb from South America. Many herbalists use it for blood sugar issues to balance it out. 600% sweeter than sugar, I mentioned that. So can be used in anything. Can be used in tea, coffee, baking, yogurt, all kinds of stuff. So just remember that you want to get pure stevia. Unfortunately, stevia now has dextrose in the label I've seen, and dextrose is a form of sugar, white sugar. And why are they doing this? I don't know. Read your labels, people. Got to be careful. Ginseng is my go-to herb. I take it every day. I love ginseng. Like I am totally, as an herbalist, I am like totally in love with ginseng for myself and for my people. Why? Because the kind of ginseng I recommend is Panax ginseng. It increases your energy level, but it doesn't spike it. It actually helps your central nervous system and then lowers your blood sugar level. So it just helps your adrenals. It helps stabilize you. It doesn't give you on those spikes. It's so exciting that this herb works so well. So you need quite a bit though. I mean, you could take it as a tea, whatever, but you need to take like a lot of it. And so what I would recommend, just get the best ginseng you can for the money, because it's a little bit on the expensive side, but it works. They now have it in little vials. You could take 1 to 3 a day, but again, it works so well and you feel so good. Okay, number 5 is cinnamon. Sometimes we don't realize when we need to stop eating late at night, right? Those of you who like to eat at late at night. So maybe, it's just you feel like you need a little bit of extra sweets, whatever. So cinnamon will help to, again, stabilize your blood sugar. It takes the sugar levels that are spiking or going down and stabilizes it, because if you don't do that, then the sugar, of course, converts in your body and then stores in your fat cells, and that's the other problem. So taking 3 to 6 cinnamon capsules or mixing cinnamon with everything you eat is great. I mix it in the green smoothie. I put it on anything and everything that I could think of, and it just has a nice flavor to it, just straight up cinnamon. Number 6 is chromium picolinate. Again, this has been around like forever, since Gymnema. It's a very popular supplement back in the day, and I don't know, it just has gone out of sync with the whole supplement world, but it works. So what is it? Chromium picolinate is a natural mineral that is found in meats and actually a whole bunch of stuff: carrots, potatoes, broccoli, grains, molasses, brewed yeast, eggs, just a whole bunch of stuff. And when it's in paired up with something called acidic picolinate, it helps your body to absorb the mineral. So picolinate is produced when tryptophan is made. So it's really known as a byproduct of tryptophan. And if you know about tryptophan, that helps to relax and calm your system. So like I'm saying with all my remedies, it helps to reduce sugar cravings. All of them do that. So taking 200 to 400 micrograms of chromium, that's micrograms, each day, even up to 1,000 micrograms works. Again, spread it out, take it with your meals. Number 7 is vitamin C. Insulin helps to, so vitamin C, lots and lots of things for immune system, right? But in this case, vitamin C, the insulin helps to transport vitamin C to your body, into your blood cells. And when your insulin levels are reduced due to the help of vitamin C, it can help prevent those blood sugar spikes, right? And it gives relief to your pancreas. Therefore, the weight goes down and stays down. So that's a cool part of vitamin C. So again, 500 to 1,000 milligrams at least once a day. I use one with bioflavonoids because it has the rutin hesperidin and it helps your immune system even better. All right, number 8 is biotin. Studies have shown biotin is a type of vitamin B, right? So it shows that when you add biotin to your daily regime with chromium picolinate, it improves blood sugar levels, even if you have spikes on there. So that's very cool. It gets your your body metabolize that way. So how much should you take? 100 to 200 milligrams, but really I would suggest mixing it in with your B vitamin supplement, like a multi B vitamin liquid supplement. Liquid is always better. Taking that a couple times a day. I put people on it 3 times a day, but I quickly take them down to 2 times a day because it just is too, it gives you too much energy, actually. Actually, it works very well when you're doing all the things that I recommend. All right, so vitamin E is another one. Vitamin E works very well to help with actually manganese, your mineral, which we're going to talk about next. A natural vitamin E with about 1,000 IU. Taking that for antioxidant and to normalize the blood sugar is great. And then number 10 is manganese. So manganese is one that is a mineral that it helps your blood sugar again. But the thing with manganese is because the mineral is something that your hormones need to balance out because they need extra minerals to function properly, stay balanced and all that, then manganese is great to do that. I don't necessarily take all these individually. The only one is ginseng I take individually, or when I was looking to lose weight, I did the gymnema and the chromium picolinate. The rest is good to mix in with a smoothie, and that's what I always recommend is get a smoothie that has all these minerals and vitamins in there, and then you're not stressed out about, oh my God, I have to go get these different things. I have to go and buy all these supplements and it gets expensive. I'm telling you the shortcut of what to do. We always like shortcuts, right? That's what it's all about, okay? All right, so let's get into a little bit with the green powder supplement. So to make sure that you get the right one, because you see I've been emphasizing that. The green powder, the best is that it has spirulina as the first ingredient, 1,500 milligrams minimum. So it has to have 1,500 milligrams. If it doesn't, that's an issue. Then you're not getting the nutrients. Why is spirulina so great? Because it has the B vitamins. It has B vitamins, including biotin, to help your body keep the energy level up and doesn't have the sugar spikes. And it also has tons of minerals. So it has the manganese, it has calcium, it has magnesium, it has many, many different minerals that will help your body to stabilize. And it's very high in vitamin A and vitamin C, vitamin E actually. So I love spirulina. It's been around forever, and it's just a great, great powder to have, blue-green algae in your drinks and your smoothies. Chlorella is the other one. Alfalfa grass, barley grass, wheatgrass. They all have components in there, nutrients in there to give your body the nutrients to get rid of the poison. So remember what I said. Get the nutrients in so that your body rebuilds itself and it can release the toxins and then rebalance. Remember the 3 R's is rebuild, release, rebalance, right? And this is one of the best ways to do that. So green powder, scoop in almond milk or rice milk 2 to 3 times a day is great. And a lot of times people who have belly fat are always telling me, I'm not really that hungry. I don't really eat that much. I'm like, yeah, because you're not getting good qualified superfoods into your system. And so, yeah, you need to get good nutrients in your system throughout the day so your blood sugar stops doing that spike, right? Very important. All right, so let's get into a question for you now that we've had the main part of the training. So if you could have the step-by-step guide to learn exactly what it takes to get your body cleansed of toxins that are making that ugly belly fat, would you want that? Well, then listen closely, because if I could teach you exactly how to follow a proven system that does not include a diet plan, but a detox plan that gets the weight off easily and stays off, that's the big one, plus increases your energy and makes you feel like $1,000,000, would you let me show you? So what this is I gave you an overview a little bit about the pre-cleanse program, the 3-day detox intensive training, and the post-cleanse program. And I just gave you an overview of that. But really, just so you know, it's about eating foods, not just liquids. So it does include the berries, and it does include eating some vegetables, does include eating some quinoa, and the things I was telling you today, right? It does include that. It's not like this deprivation restrictive program. It's also using 3 simple to do low cost natural therapies. So I mentioned one of them, which was the coffee enema or the colonics, but there's just 2 more. Very simple to do, very low cost, not hard. It could be done at your home. You don't even have to go out to do them. And also relax time for your ultimate detox results. It's very, very important that you learn as you're detoxing and getting rid of the issues that are causing the belly fat, that you need that downtime. So I teach you all about that as well. So what this is not, it's not another diet detox program just to lose a few pounds. This is really simply a proven system I've used over 25 years in my clinic. It is another way to take care of your weight and your health. This is what makes my program unique, and this is what gives such good long-term results. And that is that my passion is to get you maximum results. Really, that's what I want for you, getting maximum results. So getting results, I want to get your weight off permanently. I want you to be like me and my other clients that I work with, that you get it off, keep it off, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. I want you to stop worrying about your weight so you can feel good about yourself and know that you are empowering your health. See, I've figured out how to create a system that detoxes you and gets the weight off at the same time. I figured out the strategies and details on getting this information to tens of thousands of people so you could get the fastest and best results in the shortest time possible. And it's the 333 detox. Some of you have heard about it, but not understanding that it's great for weight loss, great for your overall health, and solves a whole lot of issues, from blood sugar issues to constipation to energy issues, a whole bunch of issues. So I'm like, let me train you guys in a different way and show you how effective and powerful this 333 detox is. So what is it exactly? It's a step-by-step guide on how to do the actual 333 detox. So it's 3 days of pre-cleanse, 3 days of the actual intensive detox, and then 3 days of post-cleanse. So it includes having menu planning for before and after. So you saw we touched on breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but I really get into, in the program, I really get into, breaking it down, like what are all your choices for breakfast, and what are all your choices for lunch, and what are your choices for dinner that really work to not worrying about your weight and making sure that you're cleansing at the same time. These are video trainings. Okay, so this is video. This is where I'm talking to you, and I go through the details step by step with you so you get it. And that includes the colon cleanse. I go into a lot of colon cleansing issues of what to do, how to do it, what do you do, what's the schedule like, what do you do when you first wake up in the morning until the time you go to bed, what is that? And then what is the liver cleanse, and what does that entail, and what herbs you have to take, and how do you do the liver flush? I go into all those details. They're not long video trainings. Nothing is over 30 minutes long. Most of them are much shorter than that. So you could learn it and then you go do it. And that's really cool. You could learn it and do it. And then if you get stuck, I have unlimited email support for your specific challenges. So that's the gold here, right? Is when you're going through your cleansing, and when you're going through like, okay, I have a goal that I want to feel better and I want to lose a certain amount of weight. Okay, then you're going to run into challenges. We all do. You might not feel good, and you might have a headache that you're not sure about. You might not know where to get something. I give unlimited email support for you. Not a problem. I'm right there with you, walking hand in hand, making sure you know exactly what needs to be done. So your results, you're going to lose that belly fat. An average person that I work with, they lose 5 to 10 pounds. Very, very easy to do. It's not hard. And I'll show you exactly how to detox and cleanse your liver and colon, which is where that belly fat likes to hang on to. I think you got that message, right? That's where it is. And we need to get that colon liver cleansed out. So it's almost magical when you see how easy it is to do and how little time it really takes to get such fast results. And it's really a no-brainer. And I want to share with you some people who did the 333 detox and are were willing to share their story. This is from Jean Weiss from Northport, East Northport, New York. She said, I've done many cleanses in the past, but due to emotional eating, I've put on weight the last few years. I found the 333 detox very easy and enjoyed doing the program. I have lost 11 pounds total and recommend this to all my friends and family. And she really does. She was a great communicator. She had lots of questions as she was going through it, which I loved walking her through it. She was like, well, I don't know. I'm like, I ate the berries, but I'm still hungry. Like, what should I do? And I would give her 3 options, right? And she was like, oh, okay, that's great. And then, well, I'm doing this therapy. Am I doing it right? And she would just pop emails back and forth, and we walked her through, and she lost a total of 11 pounds. As a update on that, she emailed me a couple weeks later and said, I'm still on the post cleanse. I feel really good. I've lost an additional, 5-6 pounds. And by the time all was said and done, she actually lost 20 pounds in a period of like weeks after this. So she felt great. She was on the right track. We still stay in touch, and she's been very, very happy with the results. And that's really what it's all about. This one is from Charm from United Kingdom. She said, I want this to be a catalyst for me to sort my health out, clear toxins, lose weight, and have more energy. On the second day, I felt much better, less hungry, more energy and alertness. My skin and eyes look clear. So Charm had an accident. She's actually a healer, an herbalist in the United Kingdom. And she had an accident with her ankle or foot or something. And so she put on weight because she couldn't move for months at a time. It was pretty serious. They had surgery and that. So she was frustrated, and she needed to get back on track. So she did the 333 detox, and she noticed, she said, I felt much better, less hungry, more energy. So again, she had a couple of issues in the beginning that we worked through because we emailed back and forth, and I walked her through, and she got through it just fine. This one is from Carol Allen in Austin, Texas, and she said, I needed a cleanse, and thanks to Judy for the kick in the pants. I have food sensitivities, headaches, muscle aches, and stomach problems. I'm often tired for no reason. I'm feeling very happy and clear-headed after my 3-day cleanse. I am so much more awake and present and thoughtful than I have been in a long time. So this is a side benefit. She lost a little bit of weight, but her main issue was she wasn't feeling good, right? When you haven't detoxed and the weight is there in the wrong places, she had issues, and she was tired, right? So she did the detox and cleared up. It just cleared up. And again, I always follow up with my people after a few weeks, and she said, yep, I'm still on it, still feeling good, and I know I'm going to do another one coming up in a few months because I just know it's right and I feel so good. So definitely a cool thing. So what is it to join? The 333 detox. It's coming up. It's $97. Normally it's $197, but it is $97. And all you have to do is go to 333detox.com and then get signed up. We will be having it set up in the next couple of weeks. So you'll have plenty of time to go get your supplies, go get everything that you need, and we'll make sure that you have what it takes. And I'll make sure that you have checklists, you'll have menu plans, you'll have plenty of ideas of what you need to do before, during, and after. You'll have the videos that'll come up, but I always make sure that you have enough beforehand. So only for $97 for the whole program. That's it. And what you'll actually get, again, you'll get that step-by-step guide on how to do the 333, the 3-day pre-cleanse, the 3-day intensive cleanse, and the 3-day post-cleanse. Plus, you'll have the menu planning for before and after the detox. You'll have video trainings on the detox process for especially the liver and colon, and then unlimited email support specifically for your personal challenges. So again, it's a win-win, and I hope you decide that you want to win, and you say, yeah, I'm ready. Go to 333detox.com, join me, pay at the checkout, and you're done. And then we'll get you started on what you need to be ready for your 333 cleanse. All right, I'm so happy that we had this time and that we were able to get together and learn more. And it's always about you and the results that you're looking for. And I know that the information I gave you today is part of that whole big picture. So I'm very happy to have shared that. And again, if you have questions, don't be shy, hesitate, don't worry. Just shoot me an email and ask me your questions. Would love to clarify anything that you need to have clarified. All right, this is Judy Seeger. I will catch you at the next webinar training. Take care, everybody, and God bless.